Gear Review! Today we're bringing you the Roland VT3 Voice Transformer. This is a super cool unit. I'm going to run down the different specs that this machine has, and we're going to test it out on a couple different instruments. We're going to start out on the voice. That way we can kind of cover a bunch of ground to know what all the different things do. And then we'll be able to plug in, a drum kit and a bass guitar and an electric guitar and other cool things. So, stay tuned. First things first, let's run down the signal chain. So I've got my Shure SM58 plugged directly into the VT3. Then we're going from a 1/4-inch jack into the Focusrite Scarlett interface. Now the Scarlett interface is going into the MacBook Pro with Ableton 10. And there's no effects on the Ableton because I don't want it to be confusing with what, plugins are happening and what's happening with the VT3. All we're hearing is the VT3. So right now we've currently got it on the bypass setting. So if we take the bypass setting off, you start hearing the effects. So it's really good for that, if you just want to get back to your straight vocals, then you can have it go from vocals to effects, to standard, to affected. Really cool, really needed trick there. So the first thing that you're going to want to set up with this box is the mic sensitivity and the volume. That way you make sure you're not peaking when you're hitting your interface, because you don't want a bunch of inaudible distortion happening. You want to set up your gain and then kind of start from there. So I really suggest you set up these two knobs first before you start moving on to adding a bunch of reverb and other effects. So now we're moving along to these two faders here. There's a pitch fader and a formant fader. And these two work in tandem. So they work together to create whatever type of a tone that you want to get. So right here we're going to take it off bypass and we're going to run through some of the different features and tones that you can get. So you can get very low,
or you can get very high, and
somewhere in between where you mix the two. You can mix the two to get different kind of high and low and very low and very high and all in between. So with these two faders, there's actually a locked position in the middle, so you can get back to your original vocal tone. Compared to the reverb and the mix balance, where it's actually continuous. It'll go all the way up and down. There's no stops. These actually get stopped right here in the middle, so you can get back to your original vocal tone. So while I was moving these two faders up and down, we were running on the direct setting. So there's actually 10 different selected tones that you can go between, and it'll give you way different sounds. So we're on the direct here, right? And we'll turn it off bypass. And it'll be really low, and then we can make it somewhere in between, and then we can move it to the next one, and 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 to the next one. So you can really get all different sorts of tones, and these will be affected on any one of the preset 10 different tones. So now we'll move along to the mix balance knob. So we'll turn it on, and I'll start talking, right? And I'll move it down, move it down, move it up, move it up. You can see it gets a little bit more added presence as it gets moved up. You're getting a bit more of the effect coming out of the box. Now, since we've got it on, we can bring up the reverb, and you're going to hear lots of reverb, not a lot of reverb. So you've got a full reverb fader that you can control. And then you've got 3 savable presets. So you can go in and save 3 different settings of, I want to punch into number 1. And number 1 can take you to, if you've got radio for 1, or if you've got scatter for number 2. And so you can have saved presets of the ones that you jump to the most, which is a really cool trick. And the manual allows you to just on the fly interact with it however you want, to just go, okay, let's just hear exactly what's showing up on here. I want to be able to manually control it. I don't necessarily want my preset number 3 right now, so that's another really cool aspect of it. So for the most part, I've been running on direct, but now let's go to auto pitch 1. Auto pitch 1 sounds a little something like this. Sounds a little bit like a robotic computer. Now let's run to auto pitch 2. It sounds a little bit different, but we can control that with these different knobs to get some sort of a robotic tone. And then you hit robot and it gets all even more robotic. Now we're moving along to the vocoder. The vocoder sounds a little something like this. Sounds pretty crazy. Now we're moving to the synth setting, which can give you some sort of synthesizer type tones. Alright, so now we're moving over to the lead setting. The lead setting is a bit of a high pitch type of a kind of a trumpet type sound. Now we're moving over to the bass. Bass.
Kind of sounds like a robot.
Now we've got the megaphone. Super lo-fi if you turn it all the way up, like you're on a long distance call.
Far away.
Now we've moved over to the radio setting. The radio setting sounds a little something like this. Maybe like you're talking on an FM radio, trying to reach someone. And now to my favorite setting of the box is the scatter setting. So the scatter setting does this type of random type of it's like a it's a random repeat delay type chaotic type noise.
Really cool. Really cool.
So now that I have shown you what this can do on the voice and the basic lay of the land on this thing, we're going to plug in a bass and see what that sounds like. So now we've picked up a bass guitar and we've plugged it into the same jack that the mic was just into. So now I'm going to show you how you can basically use this thing as a effect pedal for your bass or your guitar or any type of instrument. You just plug directly in. So right now we've got it set up going into the radio setting. I'm going to show you what it sounds like bypassed first. So it's just going to be dry bass and then we're going to plug it in. So here we go. Alright, now we're going to go to the radio setting. Very cool sounding. Let's go to the scatter setting. Go to the megaphone setting. Add a little bit of reverb. Alright, we'll go to the bass setting now. So let's hear what the bass setting sounds like on the bass guitar. Dry tone, bass tone. Alright, let's go to the lead tone. And mind you, the pitch and the formant are stuck in the middle. They're locked in. The reverb is totally off. I'm just kind of showing you what the full sound out of the each one of these 10 effects are. So moving over to the lead. Very cool. It almost kind of sounds like a theremin, you know, where you're working a theremin along with it. It really kind of is usable if you back the mix off a little bit on that one. Alright, so now we're moving along to the synth sound. Now we're moving along from the synth, going to the vocoder. Moving along now to the auto pitch 2. It's a very nice chorus sound, actually. So we go down to the auto pitch 1, and we've got the mix full up. Let's go to the robot setting.
I almost forgot to tell you about the best part of the VT3 vocal transformer, and that is beatboxing through the transformer. Now what this is going to do, it's going to give us a bunch of really cool dub effects, a bunch of very cool
different sounds that we can get while beatboxing. So just take a listen. It should be pretty cool.
Yeah, check it out, the VT3 by Roland. Love you, Milliwatts.
Like and subscribe!